Finally, a music video for Skitz Kraven, Mama's Husband. This is actually probably one of my favorites off the Do You Hear Them Too album. It was kind of like a horror thing that he did, another horror album that he does. He's a horrorcore artist, but he's one of the best to do it. And Mama's Husband is probably my favorite one on the album. When I listened to that song, I was kind of like, I mean, it's just a very story-driven song, so I was kind of wondering when he was actually going to drop a video for it, because I feel like out of any of them on that album, this is kind of the one where I did want him to drop one, just because it's so story-driven. I don't know about any of you guys, but if you listen to the song, I've always kind of pictured in my head, like I've kind of made a scenario in my head for the lyrics. You know what I mean? You know how you do that? So I'm kind of curious to see if anything I've thought of with the lyrics is what he's actually putting to the screen. But without further ado, I'm gonna stop rambling and let's get right into this. Okay, already. I gotta look at this already. So, first of all, as the pictures were moving on, it was like kind of a lighter dun, dun, dun. It gets darker as the pictures go on. But the pictures, so there's his mom and him, the mom and him all happy. And then I guess this is the stepdad that comes in. So they're like, okay, you know, the kid's like, this will work. Okay, I'm happy with him. All right, he's like, okay, this is still gonna work. Picture of just the kid, and then he got another family portrait of all three of them, but they look like they're like being forced to smile. They're like they're not happy, but he's the only one that's kind of smiling, so it kind of shows like the abuse, I guess. And you got a bloody picture of all three of them, a little bit on the frame. You got all the blood on this
who is loving is a boy's best friend until that mother finds another friend to spend life with. It's kind of tough because it's not a choice that you get to make, but no matter how you feel, you gotta just live with. Your mama's boyfriend seemed to be a real cool guy at the start. He used to always bring a gift when he would get out the car. Sometimes a game, sometimes a ball, sometimes some trading cards. He used to tell your mama, lighten up, you're being too hard. But you got older, he got drunker, mama so deep in love. They finally tied the knot forever, but that wasn't enough. The first time that it ever happened, you were late for the bus. He was so pissed he had to drive instead of catching a buzz. Once you left and started driving, he just switched it all up. He said to lift both of your arms and push you right in the gut. He grabbed your neck and said, you're dead, you ever miss it again.
So first of all, I don't know why that guy looks actually like really familiar to me. I don't know. That's weird. But I like at the beginning, he's like, it's not a decision that you get to make, or not a choice you get to make, like who your mom actually brings home. Because it's like you're a kid, little kid. It's always just been you and your mom, and then this other random guy is like, okay, this is gonna be my dad. Like I didn't know anything about this until he just came over. So it's like, I guess I'm just gonna have to deal with it because I can't do anything about it. So that was kind of interesting. I also like the way obviously Skitz Kraven writing in this whole thing, the storytelling writing, everything he does in this song, it just hits hard. I do like the lighting right here. So I don't know, it's just like a bright family picture right here. Like they tied the knot, whatever, everything's gonna be good.
They finally tied the knot forever, but that wasn't enough. The first time that it ever happened, you were late for the bus. He was so pissed he had to drive instead of catching a buzz. Once you left and started driving, he just switched it all up. He said to lift both of your arms and push you right in the gut. He grabbed your neck and said, you're dead, you ever miss it again. Yeah, he was swerving, you was pleading, so we did it again. You almost puked, but if you did, you knew he'd kill you right then. Yeah, he could smell the fear off you, all you could smell was the gin. You thought the gin must be the reason why his temper is thin. You went to school and brushed it off, but you could not hold it in. Your head
that whole little, he could smell the fear off you, all you could smell was the gin. You thought the gin was the reason that his temper was thin. So when you're a kid, it's like, okay, maybe he's just drinking a lot, that's why he's got anger towards me. I don't know. I'd really like that. He could smell the fear off you, all you could smell was the gin. I don't know, that line really hits hard. And then he says, you just try to let it go, but you could not hold it in.
Was racing, trying to figure out how all this just happened. You never saw him act like this, you were surprised by his actions. You tried to tell yourself it's cool, yeah, it won't happen again. But you've been wrong so many times, so what's the difference with this? Your teacher asked you what was wrong, but you just lied and said nothing. I guess she knew that you were bluffing, so she called mama's husband. She started saying you've been quiet and been distant on subjects, and that you wasn't quite yourself, plus you was holding your stomach. So when you got back home from school, you figured you was in trouble, but you would never start to to guess you'd be involved in a scuffle.
Ooh.
You would never think your mom would end up beat for your actions, but I assume that's just what happens when you piss off an addict. You were small but did your best, but you and mom could.
So I'm assuming, because the teacher obviously called that guy, I'm assuming his mom tried to like stick up for him, and that's why she was kind of on the ground. He had her on the ground like that. And then he was saying, he was like, you knew you'd be in trouble, but you never thought you'd be involved in a scuffle when you got home. So it was like, before it was like, I've never seen this guy act like this, and he just randomly just lashed out on me. And now it's like, I come home to this, like it's getting worse and worse and worse. But the way Skitz is delivering the lines in this is really, honestly, that even before this video was made, like you could just, when you hear it, you could just feel it. Like you just feel the emotion. But putting two and two together is crazy.
You would never think your mom would end up beat for your actions, but I assume that's just what happens when you piss off an addict. You were small but did your best, but you and mom couldn't match it. Yeah, he was drunker than this morning, which is why he was laughing. He was having fun abusing, he was hella ecstatic. Your mom was bloodier than you, this fucking family's tragic. Over time it never stopped, you call it routine practice. So your mama started gambling to try.
That's, I mean, he's still going with that scheme, but the way he
match it. Yeah, he was drunker than this morning, which is why he was laughing.
He was drunker than this morning, which is why he was laughing. He was having fun abusing. He was hella ecstatic. You were small but did your best, but you and mom couldn't match it. Yes, they're cool rhymes, but each rhyme is getting deeper and deeper and deeper. I don't know. And he's still going with it. This is just,
he was having fun abusing. He was hella ecstatic. Your mom was bloodier than you. This fucking family's tragic. Over time it never stops. You call it routine practice. So your mama started gambling to try and just mask it. All the pain, all the abuse. She knew she'd be in a casket. Both your lives forever changed, way worse than you could imagine. Yeah, this shit went on for years until you finally just had it. Used to plot inside your room. You hated him with a passion. Fantasizing about revenge that would be so everlasting. Say the same words every day cause you would never get past it. He touched me one more time, I'll be the skull till I smash it. Wrap his body up in plastic, then just dump it in acid. Those were thoughts you always had, yeah, you would sit and imagine. Maybe Sunday is the day you grab a gun and just blast him. Settle down.
Yeah, put his body up in plastic and dump it in acid. But the way he, like, it almost looks like, for a second, I know he's like reading, but he's thinking about it, but it kind of almost made it seem, it was kind of cool because it's showing a bunch of like old rappers in the thing. So I feel like it'd be kind of cool if he was like trying to like write out what he's doing in like a rhyme. I don't know. I thought that's what he was doing at first, and I thought that was a really cool concept, but I get what he, I mean, obviously he's not going to do that. He's just reading the book, but he's like thinking like, man, I could so do this to him. I'm going to do this to him. I'm going to do this to him. But I don't know, with everything in the background, like you have Snoop Dogg and Tupac and then Dr. Dre right there. So it kind of almost seemed like he was writing what he was going to do into a song, which is kind of cool. I mean, I don't know. I thought that'd be a cool concept, but
every day cause you would never get past it. He touched me one more time, I'll be the skull till I smash it. Wrap his body up in plastic, then just dump it in acid. Those were thoughts you always had, yeah, you would sit and imagine. Maybe Sunday is the day you grab a gun and just blast him. Settle down, mama, please don't worry. Pray to God cause he knows what's going on. If we leave, I know that he can't hurt us.
This little thing right here, that's deep. That is deep. I mean, obviously the chorus is sad, but
just blast them.
So this is a scene I think they showed in the beginning before that guy even pulled up. So that's when they were back, when they were happy, and then all of a sudden you get like this horror shake. Yeah, and oh man, that's beautiful imagery. That was a good transition too. Sad.
With him because he's gonna kill you. So I just gotta do this on my own.
Skitz Kraven mask. Oh, that actually looks like kind of like Skitz Kraven looks in most of his videos.
You're 42 and you done been through it all. Drug addiction, 2 divorces, kids that don't even call. But then you met the woman of your dreams and never once judged you. Was the life you always wanted even way back in high school. So you met her only son and was excited to raise him. Cause his father never wanted to, so you could replace him. Things were great a couple years, but habits never do die. You started drinking more and more, was getting harder to hide. But she would look the other way cause you would work and provide a decent life for both their son and her with bread on the side. But lately she been kinda distant, focused more on her son. So you've been drinking more and more until it ain't even fun. A strong addiction mixed with anger causing shit to go bad. You're not confused on why you
I like obviously there's this perspective flip on here on him, but obviously there's nothing. I mean, I see what Skitz is doing. He's trying to make he's trying to show both sides and why he does what he does. Obviously, there's no really excuse for it, but it's kind of cool that he's showing kind of the background. He said 2 divorces, kids that don't even call. Finally met the woman of her dreams. She doesn't judge at all. Get to raise this kid because his father wasn't in the picture, but it's like everything's going good, and all of a sudden he's just drinking more. He's notices the mom giving more attention to the son than him. He's starting to kind of change. So it's like that. Like I think Skitz said it, it's like the alcohol and the temper is not mixing very well and leading to abuse, which is normal. Not normal, but it happens.
Been drinking more and more until it ain't even fun. A strong addiction mixed with anger causing shit to go bad. You're not confused on why you hate the son that you never had. He's getting older, growing bigger, soon he'll be...
That, see right there, he says, now you're wondering why you hate the son that you never had. Because that's what he wanted in the beginning of this verse, and now he's wondering, it's like, why do I hate this kid? This is the kid that I've always wanted. Why am I hating? Why do I hate him? So it's definitely getting worse. I don't know. The lyrics and the way Skitz is putting this together, the video obviously helps, but the song alone paints just this. Skitz just paints this picture with his lyrics. Right, this is a masterpiece.
But lately she been kinda distant, focused more on her son. So you've been drinking more and more until it ain't even fun. A strong addiction mixed with anger causing shit to go bad. You're not confused on why you hate the son that you never had. He's getting older, growing bigger, soon he'll be a grown man. You start to roughen up the kid to show him how to use hands. But when you drink you're more aggressive, plus you're sending a message. Decided love don't overstress you, you're just teaching a lesson. He needs a father figure in his life through his adolescence. You're just a good ass fucking dude, you always give him your presents. But today he missed the bus again, that's twice in a week. You notice that he's getting lazy, thinking life is just sweet. His mother coddles him, so you believe she's raising him weak. Yeah, you're the only man he has, so man, you gotta just teach. You finally snapped and took your anger issues right out on him.
So now that it's on his perspective, it actually, in that scene before when he walks in from missing the bus, it actually doesn't show the mom coddling him like that. Before, it kind of seemed like he just walked in, he was mad he missed the bus, but really I think what it was when the mom came in, started coddling him, that's when he was like, okay, now why is he getting so much attention for doing this stuff wrong? He should be disciplined. So that was kind of a cool, different side of the scene.
His mother coddles him, so you believe she's raising him weak. Yeah, you're the only man he has, so man, you gotta just teach. You finally snapped and took your anger issues right out on him. You punched him over and again, cause you love feeling the sin. You know with every strike you make, it brings you back as a kid. Just like your father did to you when you were being a shit. But now the more you think of it, the more you get yourself pissed. You went from slapping across the head to quickly closing your fist. You start to get used to the thrill, so this shit goes on for years. But now he's getting to the point where he's not starting to fear. Your wifey hates you, but you...
So he was saying that he said his father did the same thing to him, so it like makes him more mad anytime the kid is doing something like that. So it's all mental. So this guy's got some serious issues. The way he's breaking this story down is like it just makes it so surreal. Like, yes, the video is obviously painting the picture, but I don't know. I think the lyrics in the song are doing justice, and the video just kind of adds that nice icing on top.
The more you get yourself pissed. You went from slapping across the head to quickly closing your fist. You start to get used to the thrill, so this shit goes on for years. But now he's getting to the point where he's not starting to fear. Your wifey hates you, but you tell her that you'll kill if she leaves. So now you feel the pressure from her son at night while you sleep. So one day you're just drinking heavy, watching TV on Sunday. Your wife is visiting her mom, but you're at home with her son. You start to hear him down the stairs, but you don't think nothing of it. But then you look and see his hand and that he's holding your gun. You asked him where'd he get your weapon. He says right where you left it. He's got some tears all in his eyes, but he's not sad, he's aggressive. He tells you lift your fucking arms and puts the gun to your stomach. He starts repeating all the times you left him bloody and busted. Tells you everything you know is true, now you start to plead. He hits your mouth with half the barrel, now you're starting to bleed. He takes a swig from out your bottle, lifts you off of your seat. He tells you this is where it ends and sets you down on your knees. He says you never were a father, you were just a disease. He puts the gun inside your mouth and says the bus gonna leave. He says don't worry, you won't miss it, cause you're good with instruction. He says now look into the mirror by the wall where your lunch is. Staring at yourself, regretting all the bruises and punches that you laid down on the boy way back since he was a munchkin. Now he tells you say goodbye before you turn into nothing. And then he says now wave goodbye to mama's piece of shit husband. So you wave, but then you realize you were never a husband. Yeah, you were never a father. Yeah, you amounted to nothing. No, this boy isn't a bitch. You realize you were the bitch. Yeah, this boy would never hit. It was just you that would hit. You finally came to realize now that it was you that was sick. But before you can admit, you hear your own gun click.
Wow, that little shot right there where he realizes that it was him. So like in my head, when I actually heard this song for the first time, I kind of pictured a scene like this. I guess I pictured it more in like the kitchen. I don't know, but I mean, this is basically what he was describing. I guess what he had in the video is kind of what I was thinking already. I mean, he described it so well, it's hard not to paint a picture for it. But this part right here is crazy because it's basically like the way he did this story where like the end of the first verse's story leads into this one, but then you kind of see the finale after those two stories tell their side. So this is kind of the finale afterwards that you don't expect.
It was you that was sick, but before you can admit, you hear your own gun click. Settle down,
That part,
mama, please don't worry. Pray to God, cause he knows what's going
he did it.
on. If we leave, I know that he
gonna shave his
can't
head?
hurt us. Be strong, mama, please keep holding on. You say we gotta stay, but I don't believe you. I'd run away, but I can't leave you alone with him because he's gonna kill you. So I just gotta do this on my own.
Interesting. Skitz Kraven, man. Okay. It's Skitz Kraven. Okay. Very, very well done. Wow. So when you're listening to the song without the video, you don't see any of that. You don't see the note, you don't see that. So it's almost like he planned on making this video after this. Like this was very smart. That was a very smart move. I mean, you never know. Skitz could have gone to something, maybe not to that extent of this video, but he could have gone through something like that as a child. I don't think he was a complete murderer as a child. But I think you never know. He could have gone through something like that. I don't think he's ever said anything like that, but the fact that he made himself at the end of that video, I mean, obviously he's playing a character through most of his videos, so that's most likely what it is, but very, very good ending. You don't see these like raw music videos like this anymore. That's what I appreciate. Like I said, the way he ended up making the stories, he showed each side, and then he showed the end scene of those sides. So like the end scene was obviously going to be the same on both, but he showed kind of different angles from both sides. Even if it was the same scene, they were different angles. Like for example, when he's coming home when he missed the bus, like I said, it didn't show his mom hugging him like that from the kid's perspective, but from that guy's perspective, it showed the mom hugging him, and that's what actually made him mad. So it's kind of cool how he's showing both sides, but I don't know. This is a very well thought out, unique video. Very well done. This song was enough story for me. Like I said, I was hoping he was gonna do a music video just because I feel like this is one of those that kind of has to have one. So this, like I said, this is just icing on the cake. I'm good now. The video's out. I'm good. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure and leave a like on the video, because if you like the video, then you kind of have to like the video. Yeah, that makes sense. And be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content. There's a notification bell to let you know I do actually drop a video. With all that said, I will catch you guys next video.